And we are back with more Echo.
Woo woo.
Wow.
And
Did you
fun.
guys just say a woo?
Some of them
No, we said hello.
Oh, jeez.
I said woo woo. Woo woo.
do. See, I told you, some people say woo. Oh, are you sad and woo?
Don't call me by that name.
You refuse to be called by your name in an uwu speak? Is that what I'm hearing?
And woo. And woo.
No, you're just...
No. If you are actually annoyed by that, we will stop.
You're appropriating my culture.
What do you mean, your culture?
Your culture. Huh?
Like, literally half the people in this freaking call are furries, so...
Because of me.
Yeah, true.
I don't know, I feel like
Thank you.
I was the one that, like, pushed over Sam and Matt.
You did.
Yay!
Yippee!
In the
I don't know
pyramid
if Matt.
scheme, I'm getting
Matt is a
points.
furry.
Matt's a
is
furry, yeah.
Yeah, I know he has a persona and everything. Yeah.
Oh my god,
he
Matt,
has a
really?
persona?
I didn't know this.
Oh,
I didn't know he had a persona, but I did know he was a furry.
sorry. I just know he has a furry avatar.
Yes, but yeah, he is definitely a furry as well. He's admitted to it. That's why he went to
Yeah.
the Midwest Fur Fest and everything.
Oh, I thought he just went to fuck with me.
No, he was there because he wanted to be there.
I thought he...
I let
His
him know
name
about
tag
it,
said
and he-
Matt.
Yeah, no, he joined and everything, and like he hung out because he wanted to be there. Like he was identifying as a furry by that point. Matt's been a furry for like half a year now.
Still mad at him for going to MFF and then pretending like I would recognize him during my panel.
Either way, speaking of like half a year, take a look at the last time we played,
March 21st.
and look at today's date.
May the
May
2nd.
2nd.
So yeah.
So exact.
About
yeah.
a little over.
I'm
To
so
be fair,
excited.
we finished a project last week that was really close to
Yes.
finishing, so that's like forgiven.
I will give us that, but the other 3 weeks it's kind of interesting because there was 4 weeks between now and then. Actually, 5 weeks between now and then, and only one of those was because of Finding Paradise. That's all I'm gonna say. We had a blast, is I think what we could probably agree on, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Chase
Don't
doesn't
you-
agree. Damn.
Forget about me. No,
Alright, somebody-
no.
Somebody move
No, I
her
remember
to the
what
Forget About
happened
channel.
last episode.
Oh yeah. Chase and Jenna had a real good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and the only straight scene in this entire game, and it was a fade to black. I will never not be salty about that.
Oh, cry me a river, Harry.
I will.
Oh, I love salty rivers.
Gross?
Why are you upset about that?
Slightly salty and oily rivers.
I don't want the oil. We'll get like some type of filtration system going.
What? What? Ah, yes, gotta filter my rivers, boys. Kill them fish.
Actually, there's literally a food theory episode, if I remember correctly, about how you could actually like purify tears or something
Yeah.
like
I
that.
think so, yeah.
For like a
Yeah, there
seasoning
is.
food. Either way, Seb, whenever you're ready.
Here's probably better.
Yo! You guys been having fun?
I
I
glanced
mean,
down.
yes.
Oh,
wait,
wow!
wait,
Oh
what?
wow!
What
Wow.
happened last time? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, Jenna and Chase got together. It's the quick and short of it.
Thank you, that's all I needed to know.
I glanced down at Jenna, her legs still entwined in my own. I quickly tried to untangle us, scooting to the other side of the couch while yanking up my shorts. She's got a firm grip on my tail for some reason, and I have to grip my teeth to keep from yelping as it tugs.
It's her tail now.
Groggily, I begin to see her turquoise eyes flutter open, blinking at her surroundings. Then me, then the sound coming from the entrance hall. She rubs her face, trying to shake off some of the sleep fatigue.
What did you say?
There's some clattering from the kitchen coming from the... Wait. There's some clattering noises from the kitchen coming from the kitchen.
It's a little redundant, okay.
Like the rustling of plastic bags and the clacking of Tupperware. Did he not see us? Thank fuck he's a lizard and can't smell us at least.
I asked if you fuckers have been having fun. It's midday.
Flynn, you got our text. You were up late last night searching for Carl.
Yeah, making yourself at home here. What you got over there? Hentai?
I checked the TV.
Better.
It's frozen on a guide menu screen. Grab of a frantic anime girl holding way more bowls of soup than is ordinarily considered reasonable. Jenna yawns into her paw, quietly pulling up a black pair of panties around her thighs, followed by her trademark jean shorts. She's so lackadaisy about it, like she doesn't care if she's caught. Her expression is distracted, but not by Flynn or me. Though she does manage a quick smile in my direction when she does focus her gaze my way. I return the smile, albeit lopsidedly, half my face still feeling tingling and asleep.
So we're so we're dead fucking certain that Duke doesn't know shit then. God damn it.
I hear the heavy footfalls of the Gila leave the kitchen, making his way around to us. He's holding 4 small plastic containers. He gives 2 to each of us, setting them down on the coffee table. The insides are fogged up from condensation or steam, so I can't tell exactly what they contain. It looks green, I guess. Flynn sees me gawking and lets out an exasperated puff of air through his flared nostrils.
Top container's got Caesar salad. The bottom's got fresh cooked bluegill.
Bluegill? I blink at the steaming container. You catch that yourself?
Yeah.
He perks a brow ridge. And you cooked it just for us? The line of questions seemed to give the Gila pause, as if he needs to make sure he phrases his next words carefully. Jenna smirks in my direction before blowing her nose into a tissue.
Usually I'd drop some off for Carl.
He folds his arms over his chest.
You know, to make sure he doesn't go into a full-on diabetic coma. His arteries are packed up with pizza and energy drinks.
That's very thoughtful of you, Flynn.
Yeah, thanks, man. I give him a thumbs up, to which he just shakes his head.
Whatever. Any word from the sheriff's office?
Jenna reaches into her shorts and grabs her phone. She taps at it for a few moments before shaking her head.
Nothing since yesterday. The person I spoke with at the office said they would reach out to me with any questions or updates they had.
God, fucking useless. So goddamn overstaffed there anyway. How hard can it be to find one fat-ass rich kid in the middle of vast fucking nowhere?
Apparently rather difficult.
Just wait for Carl's parents to post the reward money or some shit.
I don't think public entities get to claim those sorts of things.
Flynn scowls at Jenna for a good 4 seconds before turning away, walking to the grand living room window and peering out the backyard.
Well, yeah, I fucking know that. Just don't make a lick of sense. No food, cars, or cell phones missing, nothing valuable stolen, no break-in indications. Besides, the scuff marks you made on the way in.
Flynn, if I hadn't gone in through the window, Leo would have eventually shoulder-rammed the front door down.
Flynn folds his hands behind the back of his head, clenching his eyes shut.
Yeah? God, what a fucking crazy ass. At least his desperate party attempt helped us figure out Carl was missing earlier.
Jenna pushes herself to her feet, walking over to beside Flynn. She folds her arms over her chest.
So, we briefly skimmed over this yesterday, but with regard to Carl's mental state leading up to all.
Flynn ever so slightly shifts his head in the Phoenix direction. Their size difference stark as they stand silhouetted in front of the window.
Is there anything you can think of that would help us out here?
Anything to cause Carl to say fuck it and run out into the desert without any belongings, you mean?
Yes.
Jenna answers flatly.
He's been depressed as hell, but that's how he's been since he dropped out of college. All that digital art shit he used to do, he hasn't done much of that either lately. Whenever I check my phone or computer, he's always online, just send me memes and shit all day. Despite my efforts, there ain't been much in the line of indication he'd been planning on changing in that routine anytime soon.
I'm sorry to hear that.
She sounds genuine to that regard, letting out a quiet sigh.
Ain't nothing you can do about it from fancy college land.
I finally get my ass off the couch, silently hoping that I hadn't left the surface all oily.
I think he's been getting high more. Says it chills him out, helps him with nightmares and shit.
Nightmares? Flynn nods.
Yeah, he's been going off and on how his house is haunted. Says things get weird whenever he goes to bed.
Weird how? Flynn is starting to look increasingly exasperated by my continued prodding. It's evident he wants to shift focus back to the search effort.
Fuck, Chase, I don't know. Bumps in the night, creepy children whispers, distant laughing, that sort of thing. Said he only heard them when he was about to fall asleep or was waking up, so he could never investigate.
Interesting.
Really?
You said that getting high was how he coped with his newfound paranoia?
Mm-hmm. And I let him sleep over once and my whole room smelled like skunk weed for a fucking week.
He slept over because he was afraid to be here in this house?
No, he stayed over because I was plowing his ass.
His tone is laden with sarcasm, and I even find myself snickering a bit at the shock. Jenna doesn't laugh, though, meeting Flynn's gaze with an indiscernible expression. The Gila clears his throat, scratching at his stomach.
Yeah. Yeah, he was afraid to be here.
I know enough about Carl's
I don't know,
family. Yeah, DJ?
I don't know, man. They could have been doing that. Or will you judge?
I mean, okay, so here's something I'm gonna tell you guys about. There is another side story that we did not cover. It's called Benefits.
Oh no.
As
We're
in
not gonna
friends
play it.
with?
We're not going to play it because it is indeed basically one that you do not need to play in order to get what's going on in the story. It just gives a little bit more context in this route about one particular thing. And I don't want to spoil what it gives context to.
Okay.
I know enough about Carl's family to know that his house is seriously old. His great-great-something or another is the town founder, after all. The place has since been seriously modernized into a more stucco adobe style, but there's some definite history underneath all this. Growing up, Carl started thinking there were ghosts in the house. It freaked him out pretty badly. So much so, his parents basically begged me to have sleepovers with him during the weekends, and even some weekdays. Not that I minded, of course. Carl had all the video game consoles that were out, and his parents bought him M-rated games. I got to stay up late with his giant TV blowing up aliens and running over hookers. I remember he started to become less afraid as time went on, and his parents stopped asking me to come over as much. So of course, shitbag younger me told Carl a bunch of stories about a ghost bride whom I said I saw standing outside his house at midnight.
Oh god.
And
Yeah.
that's how I got to spend my whole 5th grade summer vacation living at Carl's place. The fact that Carl is still freaked out about this sort of thing is pretty concerning.
Well, to be quite fair, if I held the mindset that my house was haunted and saw whatever that was on the phone out my window...
She pauses, shaking her head.
I'd probably be rather freaked out as well.
Yeah, but would you run outside? Doesn't make any sense. You'd think this place would be more ransacked if it was like a fucking kidnapping or something. You don't try to kidnap a fucking ram without getting some serious dents and scratches in the drywall.
The idea of Carl being assaulted like this is starting to give me a serious pit in the bottom of my stomach.
Well, you did find some scattered plaster dust and marks on the wall near the basement crawl space.
Go in there, guys. Check it out.
Yeah, maybe there could have been like an initial scuffle down there, and then he was held at like gunpoint or something. There's a look of sudden shock at the direness of my words that flashes across Flynn's face. Anxiety, fear, concern, all expressions seldom seen on the lizard. He quickly stifles them, adopting his usual disgruntled demeanor, emitting forth a familiar grunt in response.
Guys, I think we're escalating here. No offense to you, Chase, but I think I might want to have a chat with Jeremy myself. You can come along, of course. Same to you, Flynn.
Despite Jenna's assurance of non-offense, I can't help but feel a little shitty about not pressing harder for information while I was there. I mean, fuck, I want to be a journalist, right? I can't get intimidated by childhood bullies. Flynn nods, but only slightly.
Yeah, but Chase said he told him the drugs he sold weren't laced.
Laced drugs wouldn't result in that image on the phone.
Shit. I haven't talked to that funk ass in so fucking long.
You're always a bit too old to get the brunt of his sadistic side when we were growing up.
Thought that was mainly Clint.
They all rubbed off on each other easily enough.
Flynn pulls out his phone, a rather dated first-gen looking thing from the late 2000s. He pecks at it with his large fingers, walking off toward the foyer.
Gonna text TJ and Pinball Smasher that we're together and asking around.
Damn. I love that that's Leo's new name.
I had to stop myself from cracking up.
Wait, who's Pinball Smasher?
You.
Oh. That's great.
No need to be more specific than that.
That's unbreakable encryption.
Trust me, wasn't about to tell him that where we're heading till we're done.
Poor TJ. I'll make sure to text him to make sure he's alright.
Oh, fine, don't ever bring me back under this.
Oh, TJ's just, like, I think she's more saying poor TJ for having to be stuck with Leo. Like, everyone's bagging on Leo right now.
Yeah, that's true, okay.
I mean, they have a right to.
I also love, like, seeing the evolution of, like, everyone's opinions about these characters from first route with Carl's route versus this route where we're like, oh yeah, you guys were like, oh, Leo's not too bad. And now it's like, oh no, fuck Leo.
My legs!
Nah.
My legs!
We start to head out as well when he suddenly calls out back to us.
Oh, bring your goddamn lunch. Took me for fucking ever to put that together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you nervous? I ask, trying to break the silence. Flynn takes his eyes off the road long enough to peer back at me through the rearview mirror, then glances over at Jenna. She's riding shotgun, cradling her fishy Tupperware in her lap so it doesn't spill.
I already told you I wouldn't mind seeing Jeremy again.
Well, what about you, Flynn?
Why are you asking me? They weren't my bullies.
I'm not sure if that's exactly true. I have distinct memories of TJ going into the mic.
I got a one in my lap.
I have distinct memories of the Tetanus Alley crew calling him all sorts of slurs back in the day. Hell, they started a rumor that he was some kind of sadomasochistic gay rapist. I mean, aside from the rapist thing, the rest of it's kind of true.
Yeah.
Said rumor somehow wormed its way out of Echo to our high school. I remember there was this whole thing where he got called into the counselor's office about it. He proceeded to call the counselor a wretched, gashed squeak and got 1 week of suspension. It wasn't ever clear if any of that shit stuck. He certainly never cried about it like TJ did.
Sounds more like you're the one with the issues.
I frown. I'm gonna spill bluegill all over your seats.
You'll be scrubbing the upholstery with my foot up your ass if you even open the goddamn lid in my truck.
Chase already spoke with them. You said you only saw Jeremy, Heather, and Micah, correct?
Jenna looks back at me, and I nod.
Micah. Heard he was back in town a while ago. Never expected he'd turn up again after, what, 7 years?
Have you gone by to say hello?
There was a hint of teasing in her voice, responding to the Gila's latent disdain for the kid that's evident in his tone.
Stole my fucking dirt bike.
He stole your fucking dirt bike. 8 years ago.
Well, he was still kind of a shithead when I visited yesterday.
Yeah?
I see the back of Flynn's scaly head curiously.
What'd he do?
Well, he didn't do anything to me, I guess. He just seemed like he hated my guts. I tried calling him out on his shit, and he wasn't having any of it.
He call you a squeak?
Of course.
Heh.
He smirks into the rearview mirror at me.
Glad to see this is all so amusing to you.
I'm allowed to think whatever the fuck I want is amusing.
You know, this recalls back to the earlier when we were talking about the what the?
Are you
Oh,
getting
cool.
like a
Nice
thing
warning.
on your phone?
I got an Amber Alert.
Oh.
All fun.
That's always
Well,
bad.
not fun, but...
Yeah, of course. I know what you mean, though, so...
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, hopefully that gets resolved.
I hope so too.
Mhm.
Are you going to ask for your dirt bike back?
I would.
I ask, half joking, half trying to break the tension.
I did get it back, remember? Little shit done the fuck out of it and put his weird punk band stickers all over the body, but I got it. Literally had to go to his house and talk with his parents to get it back. Should have pressed the charges.
Which house was that again?
It was the yellow stucco one at the end of Jasmine. One of the older buildings they constructed during World War II. His and mine were the only houses down there that weren't RVs or mobile homes. I believe it was condemned and demolished a couple years ago. Right, Flynn?
Flynn nods, turning off onto a dirt road.
Oh yeah. The roof was caving in, the electrical was fucking hazard, and the pipes were lead-based.
Lead-based? I thought that was banned before then.
Major cities did. Technically it wasn't in building code until the 80s.
Jenna frowns to herself. As she realizes that she had lead-based water throughout her childhood. Oh no!
Yeah.
It's like, shit.
Let's just focus on the missing ram, alright?
We drive some in silence for a while, until we see some smoke rising up from behind one of the older trailers.
Hell's going on?
Flynn pulls over. The distinct smoky smell of burnt mesquite pods wafts through the air. It's actually kind of pleasant. Flynn takes out his cell phone, stepping out of the truck, and hustling his way over to the source of the smoke. Jenna and I exchange a quick look before following in his wake. The aroma grows stronger as we round the abandoned trailer and make our way to an outcropping overlooking the rest of the area. There seemed a slight apple-like smell mixed in. As we round the bend, I can see a few lawn chairs spread around a crackling bonfire. Some of the chairs have faded princess print designs, while others are of a more traditional camping variety. Next to one of them is a fluorescent orange cooler and a portable grill-looking thing that kinda looks like a toaster oven.
Don't think they got a permit for this.
Sam, this would be your character.
Me? Oh, good. Oh, hi!
So yeah, you remember how Heather is from like the short story, right?
I do.
She's kind of like depressed, kind of like quieter, and like very, very flirty. So, well, that's how she was then. I'm gonna let you know some shit went down. Heather is kind of broken now, is all I'm gonna say.
Oh, good. Oh,
So,
good.
yeah, you're gonna have fun with this. I'm giving you these cliff notes about her. She's broken.
Appreciate it.
She's childish now, and
Okay.
she's whiny.
Okay, sounds perfect. Oh, hi!
Sorry guys, I'm back.
Welcome back, Harry. I was giving Sam some cliff notes about Heather without telling her what happened to Heather.
Oh boy, Heather is Heather.
Mm-hmm. The high-pitched voice comes from behind, and the next thing we know, there's a feline bounding up towards us. I see Jenna recoil some, the Finnick lingering a bit behind the rest of us. Flynn, meanwhile, looks stone-faced, his hands in his pockets. Hello? I was here the other day, but we have some more questions about Carl, if that's alright.
You were?
She stares at me for a long moment. Too long, actually, Flynn audibly sighs.
Oh, I know you. You're Leo's boyfriend, right?
Ex-boyfriend.
Mhm.
Jenna chimes in, but seems to visibly regret it as Heather's attention swivels to her.
Oh my god! Jasmine! Hi!
She rushes over to Jenna, wrapping her arms around her in a tight hug.
Oh, look at that.
You look
face.
really good.
Thanks.
Jenna doesn't correct her on the name change for some reason. Instead, she very gingerly pats Heather on the back before withdrawing back a foot.
I didn't shower this morning, so it's a wonder if true. Oh, the fact that she
Yeah,
said
that she would smell good.
Okay.
Neither I.
People are into that.
I just love Flynn's immediate response here.
Astonishing. Where's Jeremy at?
Oh, hi.
Oh, you didn't come through on the Flynn part,
No.
Sam. I know.
Hi,
The thing is,
Flynn.
you're gonna have a fun time with Heather because she's gotta be high pitched, but you gotta like avoid clipping your mic. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the
will
worst
say,
part.
You are giving the right energy for Heather right now.
Yeah.
Heather waves at him, despite the Gila being literally only a couple feet away. Flynn furrows his brow some and limply waves his hand once before stuffing it back into his pocket.
Here? Oh, I made a joke a while ago, and he got really offended and walked off. It was so dumb.
Where do you walk off to?
I don't know. Oh, let me get you guys a drink. We're having a whole party.
Yeah, it is actually pronounced Ahoa, so you got that right.
Yeah.
Before anyone can say anything else, she turns heel and scampers off, her demeanor like an excited child. Once we're alone, I broach the obvious question. What's an Ahoa party? Jenna looks over at me and shrugs. Meanwhile, Flynn squints at the land around him, folding his arms over his chest and mumbling to himself.
Whose property is this? I thought she lived in I thought she lived with her dad. One works at the dam?
The lizard sucks in his tongue and quickly shakes his head, his question evidently rhetorical.
She does seem different, doesn't she? I wasn't expecting the compliments after, well, how she treated me before.
Next thing we know, the feline is returning with 3 beers clutched to her chest.
They're really cold and getting my shirt wet.
I blink and quickly step up to take one, kind of awkwardly sliding it from between her forearm and her cleavage. I'm not particularly hankering for a beer right now, admittedly, but I didn't exactly want to leave her hanging. After a moment of hesitation, Flynn and Jenna also take a beer.
You guys can have a seat around the bonfire, too.
I glance over to the bonfire. It's pretty small, only about 2 or 3 feet high. Why would anyone want to hang out near a bonfire during a 90-degree springtime heat wave is behind me, or beyond me?
Some of the chairs are kind of small, though, since they're for little girls. They're not very good for big boys.
She looks up to Flynn, who stands nearly 1.5 feet taller than her. The phrasing is so strange, and her smiling gaze lingers way too long.
What?
She's flirting with you, Flynn.
I'm fine standing.
Love that expression. He's like,
It's gonna have to continue looming. Oh no.
I do love Flynn is a very gay man having some random girl start flirting with him while he's trying to find information. Flynn shifts uncomfortably. She does know he's gay, right?
Yeah, I recognize them. Those are mine.
She points to the princess chairs, specifically one with the print of a female cat in a blue dress and tiara, surrounded by chirping woodland birds.
Or were.
Oh, wow! Do you want the back?
No.
Why not?
Jenna stares blankly at her.
Look, Heather, when was the last time you saw Carl?
Oh,
She scratches herself, looking off to the side.
I don't know. You should wait for Jer. He'd have an answer for you. In fact, I'll go look for him for you.
Flynn steps up, his brow ridge furrowed.
It's a simple goddamn question and I'm asking you, specific-like. When was the last time you saw Carl?
Heather reels back as Flynn's tone grows more stern, the cat clutching at her own arms.
I don't know.
You know who Carl is. You blew him in high school.
wow.
Wow.
What? No, that was Tanya. Carl's gross.
As I recall, Heather briefly dated TJ, not Carl. It was a weird coupling, with her being a couple years older, though I guess I have no room to speak there. She was kind of mean to everyone, so it wasn't surprising that they split.
Oh, is she the one in that TJ thing?
Yeah, remember in the date?
Where she's pushing him along and he's like,
Yeah, and he was like, no, not right now, please. Ended up dating one of Leo's friends on the football team, if I remember right.
Fucking whatever.
Flynn waves off the correction. I remember taking an investigative journalism course freshman year that discussed interviewing techniques used by the police department. It included this big comprehensive list of tells for when someone is lying or obfuscating the truth. The way Heather is acting fits the description of a lot of the aforementioned. Wait, Heather, you're like best friends with Jeremy. Heather still looks like she's about to bolt, but responds regardless.
He's cool, but what does that...
And he sells pot around here? Jenna looks over at me, seemingly curious about where I'm going with this. By the way, this is the one and only fucking time in the entire game that Chase uses his fucking journalism degree.
Do you, need a plug? because I don't get involved with any of that. I don't know anything.
I quickly shake my head. No, like, you're around him when he does that sort of thing. Were you there when he sold to Carl last? She shifts her posture some, the cat scratching behind her ear as her whiskers bristle. She cuts herself off, trying to think of the right words.
They don't want me talking about this sort of thing with other people. Especially you guys, since you all hate us. I'm supposed to say that I don't know anything, but I do. I'm not stupid.
Her voice is raised now, and she's clenching her fists against her stomach. Yeah, I get that, you know? It's totally cool.
You're a fucking brainiac for sure.
Shut up!
She screeches at Flynn, the Gila covering his ear holes with a wince.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Just ignore him, okay? He just wants to find our friend. We're really worried. Her dilated pupils flick back and forth between the two of us. There's another long silence.
Like Keith?
That name again. It sounds familiar. I look to Flynn and Jenna to see if it's ringing any bells with them. I'm not getting anything from Flynn, but Jenna frowns some.
Hopefully not like Keith. That's why we're here now.
Heather's shifting gaze meets Jenna's, holding there for a moment before refocusing to me.
I was eating apple smoked jerky with Jer when Carl texted me that he needed some stuff. He did the deal, but nothing special happened, I don't think.
So nothing out of the ordinary? Heather thinks in silence for a while. Flynn, meanwhile, bites the cap of his beer off and takes a swig.
Clint and Micah came by later, kept being really weird and pushy. Well, like Clint was, Micah just stole my jerky, but that's kind of how he usually is.
Pushy how? About Carl?
I think so.
Wait, really? Flynn stops mid-drink, looking on in anticipation following her statement.
Yeah! It was like about the money stuff, which I don't pay attention to. I don't really use money that much anymore. I'm like aesthetic.
Okay, but do you remember anything specific?
I think so. I was calling Micah out for the jerky thing, but he just kept ignoring me. Clint kept talking over me, and when I got mad at him, he just started whispering to Micah. It was super rude, so I really remember it well. It's actually been, like, really hard to remember things lately.
Oh. That's about all I can think of to respond with. As I look over, I can see Jenna tapping away at her phone, typing something. She peers up only for a moment, just long enough to give me a soft smile and a nod. She must be writing all this down. Flynn, meanwhile, is putting in an active effort to keep his mouth shut. He's waiting on me expectantly to continue. Before I can follow up, Heather starts speaking again, this time to Jenna.
I don't really remember, like, why didn't we get along? Because the name Jasmine pops in my head, and it's all like, ooh, that bitch. But I just saw you now, and it all just seems so silly, doesn't it?
Jenna doesn't seem to react to Heather at first. She shuts off the screen on her phone and exhales, looking Heather in the eye. She doesn't speak immediately, and there's a sort of latent tension in the air.
Yeah. It's a bit silly now. We're all very much grown-ups here. And I appreciate the hospitality. You know, actually, we've got some spare cooked bluegill in the car.
Finn's face.
Spare?
Flynn grunts.
Flynn caught and cooked it himself.
Flynn looks slightly less disgruntled after being credited, though it's clear he really intended the food to be for us.
Oh, bluegill is good. I really like walleye, though.
I just caught bluegill. Got some bass at home. Not bass. God damn
Bass.
it.
I know. It's because you're thinking of guitar, aren't you?
I read it.
Yeah.
I read it in bass too. I mean, bass.
Got some bass at home, but didn't bring it. Also, walleye ain't really in season.
Sucks. Cool you caught and cooked it though. That's really rustic. I usually just get something from the gas station.
You're welcome.
As for issues with remembering, I'm not quite licensed to be issuing diagnoses. But I did briefly volunteer at a memory center up in Payne. I actually think I have a card here still in the bottom of my purse.
Jenna digs through her handbag for a moment before withdrawing a faded little card. Heather takes it, peering it over with some visible trepidation at the clinical text and brain imagery imprinted on it.
If you can get a ride up there on a weekday, they generally take walk-ins. The clerk there is a super nice horse guy named Jessup. He can help you get set up with Medicaid to pay for it if you're not already covered.
Horse guy?
Neat, thank you. It would be really cool if they could, like, let me pick and choose which memories I get to keep, though.
Oh no, that would be even worse.
Note that she said that, though. There's some hints about something not great for Heather.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. This whole scene right here is very, like, conflicting in my brain. Because on one hand, I do feel really bad for Heather, but on the other hand, I am of the full belief that if Jenna would have just said the word, Flynn would have beaten the ever-living crap out of her in this moment without a second thought.
Oh, that's the case. It's true.
Because, like, there is a very logical set...
Harry,
okay.
We're going to be playing the scene again for the other two versions of it. And there's some information that's revealed about Heather in the other two versions.
Okay, because this is the version I got.
Okay. This is the nicest version.
Yeah, this is the version I got, and I came across with, if Jenna would have just said, now, Flynn, without hesitation, would have just roundhouse kicked her. Just
way.
like, full on just, full swing.
Jenna smiles, a flickering sense of melancholy behind her turquoise eyes.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? Of course, the challenges and traumas we overcome shape who we are today.
Oh yeah, totally. So double bummer if you're not exactly happy with who you are today, right, Jazz?
She lets out a sad-sounding giggle. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Flynn blink some, then peer offward awkwardly. He spits on the ground, the faint smell of his venom wafting in the breeze for a moment. I'm guessing he bit that cap too hard. Jin opens her mouth to respond, but she pauses. Her ears flick some, and she folds her arms over her chest.
Yeah. Double bummer. Let me go get that bluegill. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Jenna heads back toward the truck, and we're left standing awkwardly with Heather.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna get the others real quick, so... Bye!
Before we can say anything further, she takes off again. In the distance, I can see her start running, her arms flailing with a palsy-like limpness at her sides. I can't help but feel a sort of queasy sensation at the sight. This is what this place does to people. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and save here.